Namaskar students, welcome back to my another lecture in which we are learning the application of diodes. So in the beginning I have started with the rectifier. So diode as a rectifier. In rectifier we have learned full wave, half wave rectifier, this circuit rectifier and center tap circuit rectifier. Then I have explained diode as a clipper. So in case of clipper, diode was used to clip a portion of given input signal, whether it is positive portion if you click or if you click negative portion. So depending upon the which part you are clipping, the diodes that clippers are also classified as a positive clipper or negative clipper. And another classification of diode clipper was also done on the basis of where we are measuring the output. So in that case I have classified series clipper and parallel clipper. So in today's lecture I will introduce and explain a quite different topic from the clipper circuit, and which is known as the clamper circuit. Okay, so again here there will be diode will be used to design a clamper circuit. Okay, so but the configuration of diode will be obviously quite different from the clipper circuit or rectifier circuit. So first of all, question arises, what are the clampers? What is clamper circuit? Okay, so if we start with the clamper, so I will start from the very basic definition of the clampers. A clamper is a network. Okay, a clamper is a network constructed of a diode, a resistor and a capacitor which shift a input waveform to a different DC level without changing the appearance of applied signal. Clamper circuit is a network which is constructed of a diode, resistor, capacitor that shifts a waveform to a different DC level without changing the appearance of applied signal. Okay, what does it mean of these words? That means in case of clamper circuit, what we require? We require a diode, then we require a capacitor, then we require a resistor. So simple circuit diagram I have shown of a clamper circuit. So here capacitor, diode and resistors are used, and you are measuring the output across the load resistance, and input signal is applied here. And this input signal may be a square wave signal, this input signal may be sine signal, it may be cosine signal, it may be triangular signal, it may be any type of signal, AC signal, but this is the input AC signal which is changing with time. That is the important point. Okay, but as I mentioned here, the output of the clamper circuit that will go up to a new DC level, and this new DC level of a output voltage is basically controlled by the value of capacitor and resistor which is chosen in the circuit. And always keep in mind the value of capacitor and resistance are chosen such that the time constant, that is basically defined by time constant tau is defined by R into C. So this value of capacitor and resistance in the circuit, if you want to construct the clamper, so these two values are chosen in such a way that the time constant must be large to ensure that the voltage across the capacitor, okay, the voltage across the capacitor that does not discharge significantly when the diode is in reverse bias, means when the diode is in non-conducting stage. Okay, in this circuit, clamper circuit, initially diode is in non is discharged. Initially it is assumed that in the initial condition, before starting the applying any input signal, let us say you have clamper circuit, so it is always assumed that diode, this capacitor is discharged. When the capacitor is discharged, so this charging of capacitor take place when your diode go in forward bias. When diode go in forward bias, then it conduct current, and then whatever current will flow across the diode, that current will dissipate in charging the capacitor. Once the capacitor is fully charged, and when the diode go in reverse bias, then this capacitor, which is fully charged during forward bias, that will try to maintain a constant current, that will try to maintain a voltage across the output. Okay, so this is the working principle of a clamper circuit. So in order to do that, you have to choose the value of capacitor resistance in such a way that this value, time constant tau, that is R into C, that should be much greater than the time interval of the diode when it is in reverse bias. So therefore this capacitor can maintain a voltage across the output. Okay, throughout the analysis of the clamper circuit, two important assumptions will be made. First approximation is that capacitor get fully charged when diode is in forward bias, and capacitor get discharged. Remember, this can get discharged when diode is in reverse bias, and the discharging time of the capacitor, that should be equal to the 5 time time constant. That means capacitor discharge time is equal to 5 into tau, or 5 into R into C. Okay, so this is the condition. If this condition is satisfying, then this combination of capacitor, diode and resistor can be used as a clamper circuit. Okay, so let us try to understand, if you are given with a numerical problem, how to find out what will be the value of output voltage and how output voltage will appear. Okay, when input signal passes through a clamper circuit. So here I have assumed a simple clamper circuit. And one point it is necessary to mention here, that here I have not used any biasing voltage to the diode. Okay, so that is why I call this is simple circuit. But when you go for the solving the numerical problem, you may be given with some bias voltage to the diode. Some input DC voltage may be applied at the diode, maybe at this side or maybe at this side. Okay, but let us try to understand first the simple circuit, and then I will explain a numerical problem. So in order to solve such numerical problems, I have again mentioned few steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So in step 1, let us say this is the problem, and you have to draw the output. What will be the output of clamper circuit? So in step first, what you have to note down, you first try to see the input signal. Okay, and with respect to this input signal, let us say for this 0 to t half to t. Okay, with respect to this input signal, first you have to find out for which time interval diode will go in forward bias. Okay, let us try to analyze for that. 0 to T half signal is positive, this means this is positive and this is negative. If this is positive and this is negative, if B voltage applied, obviously diode will go in forward bias and it will conduct current. If it will conduct current, so capacitor will charge. And then if it will conduct, so diode will, because it is, I have assumed diode as an ideal diode, so first diode approximation, then diode will behave like a closed switch with 0 voltage drop. Okay. And why I mentioned first step, you have to find out for which time interval diode will go in forward bias. The reason is that because when diode will go in forward bias, then current will conduct and capacitor will charge. Otherwise, capacitor was initially discharged, as I mentioned earlier. So that is why, that is the reason, first whatever input signal is given, you have to find out for which time interval, whether this may be for 0 to T half to 2, for any time interval when the diode is going forward bias. So this is the first step. So that is what I have written in step first. Okay. When you are able to find out the diode gone into the forward bias, that means that is in conducting stage, that is in on state. When diode is in on state, so this circuit diagram will looks like this. So I have replaced this diode with a closed switch, and this, if ideal diode is there, this ideal diode will be replaced by a closed switch with 0 voltage drop. So the voltage across the diode, that is equal to 0. Okay, and then current will flow in the circuit. Obviously, if this diode is shorted, so if this is shorted, so obviously the effective resistance across the output, that is also shorted. That means in this case, if you measure the output voltage, okay, because this voltage is 0, obviously if voltage across the R will be equal to 0, then obviously output voltage will be equal to 0, because diode voltage we have assumed that is ideal diode, that is equal to 0 volt. Okay, so output voltage will be equal to 0 for 0 to T half cycle when diode is in forward bias. But current will flow, and this current, if you see the direction of current will flow from here to here, okay, in the circuit, and this current will charge the capacitor fully. Obviously, if you try to find out the voltage across the capacitor, then I think, yeah, if you try to find out the voltage across the capacitor, then let us say this is VC voltage, but voltage across capacitor is VC and this is V. So this voltage plus this voltage, if you see this plus voltage, this plus VC voltage minus V is equal to 0. So this VC will be equal to this voltage, that is V. So that is why I have written V. This means when this diode is in forward bias, so whatever value of applied voltage, that voltage will be appear across the capacitor, and capacitor will fully charge up to same voltage. So that is why I have written V volt and V volt. So this is the second step. Okay. Now in second step you find out the output voltage, that is 0 volt, and how much voltage appear across the capacitor, that is basically V volt, applied voltage, value of applied voltage, that VC is equal to V. Okay. So this much you have find out. Now obviously if you go for this given input signal 0 to T half, diode was in forward bias, so we have analyzed this step 1 and step 2, and now for T half to T cycle, negative half cycle, obviously this will become minus and this will become plus. Then diode will go obviously in reverse bias. So I have shown in circuit diagram. So this become minus and this become plus. So this same circuit. So this was plus and this was minus. Now in T half to 2 cycle, this become minus and this become plus. When this become minus, this become plus. So this was diode positive and this was diode negative. So this diode gone into the reverse bias. Okay. So here diode gone into the reverse bias. If diode gone into the reverse bias, this will behave like a open switch. Open switch means zero current. Means there will be current across the diode will not flow. Okay. But resistor effective resistance is there. So a output voltage can appear across the resistance. Then we can find out the output voltage. Okay. And this output voltage, whatever we are finding, this output voltage is basically maintained by the capacitor, this capacitor, which is basically discharging through the resistance. And if you see the polarity of the output voltage, because this is plus minus, this is plus minus, so this is combination of series combination of two voltage, so this output voltage will be equal to minus plus, that means output voltage will be equal to minus something. And how much? If you now apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, so this effectively this becomes 0. So this voltage plus this voltage minus this voltage equal to 0. So VO is equal to minus 2V. So output voltage will be equal to minus 2 volt. Okay. So output voltage will be equal to minus 2 volt. So this was the step 3. And step 4, throughout the analysis, maintain a continual awareness of the location and define polarity of the output voltage to ensure that the proper level are obtained. In order to do that, as I discussed, time constant is a very important parameter, and the discharging time of the capacitor, this must be always greater than the time interval of the given signal. So in order to ensure this, whether the location of the polarity, output polarity, and the level of the out DC voltage that is maintained or not, that can be done by calculating the time constant and calculate the capacitor discharge time 5 tau. If this quantity 5 tau quantity is greater than the time interval, whether it is for 0 to t half or t half to t, if that is greater than this time interval, then your output voltage is basically maintain a proper polarity and proper DC level. Okay, and then this is step 4, and then check that total swing of the output matches that of input. So here you draw the input and output below that output. So obviously, as I discuss here, for the 0 to t half cycle, diode was in forward bias, so 0 voltage drop, so there was no voltage. So 0 to t half there is no voltage, and t half to t diode was in reverse bias, so we have got minus 2 V volt, so minus 2 negative cycle, so that is minus 2 V volt. So this will be for a given complete cycle of the input signal, so this will be the output. So this is 0 and minus 2V and t, so this is output signal. So here initially you are having some different DC voltage, DC level. Now here for this, if you see, you have changed the DC level. That is why I have defined the clamper circuit. The clamper circuit network is constructed of basically a diode, capacitor and capacitor, which basically shifts a waveform to a different DC level without changing the appearance of the applied signal. Here if you see, the appearance of the applied signal is not changing, just only changing the DC level, that's all. Now let us try to solve a numerical problem based on the clamper circuit. So here in this example, as I discussed, that clamper circuit is a capacitor, diode and resistor. And in the beginning introduction, I have introduced that this diode may be biased with the DC power supply. It may be biased, it may be not biased. So here it is biased with the 5 volt power supply. In previous example what I have showed, I have explained, there it was not biased, but here it is biased. And this is input signal, if you see. So input signal for 0 to T1 cycle, that is plus 10 volt, and T1 to 2, that is minus 20 volt, and then plus 10, minus 20, plus 10, minus 20. In this way your input signal is changing, and the frequency of the input signal, that is basically 1000 Hz. If frequency is given, then one can find out the time period. So time period will be equal to 1 upon f, and this 1 upon f, if you try to find out the time period, will be equal to 1 millisecond. Okay. So if this is 1 millisecond, the time interval one can find out. So this is for 1 millisecond, it is a time period, that is from 0 to T2. So for time interval will be equal to 0 to T1, that will be half of the time period, that is 0.5 millisecond. Okay. What is the significance of this time interval? This 0 to 0.5 millisecond. That means, as I discussed previously, the value of capacitor and resistance will be chosen in such a way that time constant, that is this multiplied by this time constant tau, should be greater than this value, 0.5 millisecond. I will explain later in the next slide. Okay, let us forget first. So in order to find out the output voltage, you have to follow the steps as I discuss in my here, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So first step is what? We have to analyze that for which time interval diode is going in forward bias. That we have to find out. If you analyze the input signal, so 0 to T1, 10 volt is there. So if you apply 10 volt plus 10 volt plus minus, and this is N type and this is P type. With respect to the input signal, this means diode is in reverse bias. Okay. With respect to given input signal for 0 to T1 time interval, diode is in reverse bias. If diode is in reverse bias, so this capacitor is already discharged, so it will not charge. So you will not get any output, any response at the output signal for this time interval for 0 to T1. I hope you understood what I am saying. Now when you move from T1 to T2 time interval, so this input voltage is minus 20 volt. Minus 20 volt means this will become minus and this will become plus, something like that. This minus and plus 20 minus plus 20 volt power supply we have applied. Now when this become minus and this become plus, so this is minus the N type and P type, so my N type P type, so diode go in reverse forward bias. So this diode gone into the forward bias, and this is the time interval we have to find out. We have to trace for which time interval diode is going in forward. That is why I have written in step first. So the analysis will begin for the time interval T1 to T2, because for this time period diode is forward biased and behave like a short circuited. That is I have replaced with a short circuit. If it's short circuited, then voltage across the diode will be equal to 0. It will behave like closed switch, but there is a power supply, so it will replace with this 5 volt power supply. Okay. Now current will conduct and this will charge the capacitor. And how much it will charge? It will capacitor will be get charged, and this value of capacitance can be voltage. Value of voltage across the capacitor can be find out just by applying Kirchhoff voltage law. If you apply Kirchhoff voltage law in this circuit, you have this power supply, and this voltage. So this voltage minus this voltage plus this voltage, so that is Vc is equal to this voltage plus this voltage, that is minus Vc is equal to plus 25 volt. So minus 20 volt plus Vc minus 5 volt, that is equal to 0. So Vc is equal to 25 volt. Okay. Whether you consider this minus and this plus and minus, or you consider this is plus, this is minus, and this is plus, the both are the same. Whether you move your sign convention in this direction clockwise, anti-clockwise, or clockwise, that is up to you. Okay. And this you might have taught in your second semester or first semester, Kirchhoff voltage law, how to define the polarity across the resistance and capacitor and inductor. Okay, so I am not going into the detail. Just by simply applying the Kirchhoff voltage law, I have find out the Vc, because this is Vc is unknown, baki, and other quantity is 20, and this polarity is known. This 5 volt, 20 volt, and Vc, that is Vc is equal to 25 volt. Okay, so it means when diode is in forward bias, your capacitor will charge up to 25 volt. Okay, and if you at this time, if you measure the output voltage, how much voltage will be there? If you see, so this resistance and this element and this element are parallel. So here across this element you have 5 volt. This is plus minus. So obviously here also plus minus 5 volt. Here also plus minus 5 volt. So that is why without solving anything, you can find out output voltage will be equal to 5 plus 5 volt. When diode is in forward bias, for T1 to T2 cycle, the output voltage will be equal to plus 5 volt, and during this time capacitor will charge up to 25 volt. Okay, so this is step 2. Now come to the Third step, T2 for time interval T2 to T3. Again, this will be plus, this will be minus. Then diode will go in reverse bias. So I have shown here plus minus, and how much by power supply, that is plus 10 volt. So plus 10 volt, I have applied plus 10 volt. Then capacitor was charged up to how much? That was 25 volt. But remember the polarity of the capacitor. Here, this polarity will, this was plus and this was minus, and then it was minus and it was plus. But when the input polarity will change, when it will become plus and it will become minus, the polarity of the diode will remain same. Polarity across the capacitor, polarity of the voltage across the capacitor, that will remain same. Okay, so that is why I have taken plus minus. So that is, again, it was plus minus, here it is plus minus, but this input polarity changed. Now diode will be, we have like a open circuit. So effectively, if it is open circuit, so this whole voltage that will become equal to, effectively this 5 volt power supply, that with the bias voltage, that also become equal to 0. So now, in order to find out the output voltage, if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, so this voltage plus this this is minus plus minus plus, so the both are the in series combination. Okay, minus plus minus plus, and this voltage will be equal to output voltage, because this voltage become effectively 0. So output voltage will be equal to plus 10 volt plus 20 volt minus output voltage, that equal to 0. So V output voltage equal to 35 volt. So during reverse bias for the T2 to T3 time interval, when diode was in off state, output voltage equal to 35 volt. Remember, here the polarity of the output voltage is plus 35 volt. Okay. Now, in order to draw the exact output characteristics, as I mentioned in step 4 earlier, what was the important quantity? This time constant. So now you have to determine the time constant for the given problem. So time constant is defined as R into C. The value of R was taken, that is 100 kilo ohm, C was 0.1 microfarad. So if you calculate, so that this will give 10 millisecond. And if you calculate the time interval, so half of this value, this is the time constant, 10 millisecond. And if you calculate the discharging time of capacitor discharge time, so that is 5 multiplied by time constant, that is 50 millisecond. Okay, 50. So this is the capacitor discharge time is 50 millisecond. And if you go back, the time interval for the given input signal we have calculated, that was how much? That was 0.5 millisecond. If you compare this value 0.5 millisecond and this 50 millisecond, obviously this 50 millisecond is much greater than the 0.5 millisecond. And this have a significant meaning. What does it mean? That it reflects that since the time interval T2 to T3 will only last for a 0.5, this means T2 to T3, that means this time interval T2 to T3 or T1 to T2 or T0 to T1, any time interval, that is only how much it lasts for, only for 0.5 millisecond. Okay, and during this time, and T2 to T3 will only last for 0.5 millisecond. Therefore, it is certainly a good approximation that capacitor will hold its voltage during the discharge period between pulses of the input signal. Okay, so that means if you draw the output characteristics, then as I discussed earlier, that for 0 to T1 time interval, 0 output voltage was there. T1 to T2 time interval, how much voltage we have find out? We have find out plus 35 volt. Okay, for when T1 to T2, how much voltage we have find out? We have find out that is plus 5 volt. And again T2 to T3 time interval, this T2 to T3, that is how much? 35 volt. So now if you draw the output with respect to input waveform. So this is input waveform, this is output waveform. So as I said, for 0 to T1, capacitor was in reverse bias, diode was in reverse bias, so capacitor was not charged, so you don't get any output voltage, you don't get any signal. Now T1 to T2 time interval, capacitor was in forward bias, so you get voltage, output voltage equal to the applied biased voltage, that is 5 volt. In T2 to T3, again diode gone into reverse bias, then capacitor will discharge through the resistor, and it will give a voltage, output voltage, that is 35 plus 35 volt plus 35 volt. Again T2 to T3 to T4, diode will go in forward bias, so that will give the 5 volt power supply. Again T4 to T5, it will go 35 volt. So this will be the output waveform. So now if you see, you have changed the different DC level in output with respect to the input waveform. So this is how one can solve the clamper circuit. Okay, I have discussed in step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 with the diode which is assumed as an ideal diode. Now I have written an assignment for you. The same problem what I have did here, same problem, same value of resistance, capacitor, everything is same problem, same input signal. Just what you have to assume, instead of ideal diode, instead of this ideal diode, you have to assume diode is made of silicon. That's all. And then you draw the output waveform for the given problem. So that is assignment for you. Okay, this is very important assignment. When you do, then you understand how this diode is changing the output waveform. So up to now I have explained the basic theory and one numerical problem, how in few steps how to find out the output waveform. So here I have mentioned some few more circuits. Inputs square wave given and simple circuit is given, and then output in input circuit and output. And what I have made change just for the analysis, just for the understanding, I have shown 3 different circuit. So this is first circuit without any DC biasing, and this is first circuit without any DC biasing. Just what change is made, that here we have changed the polarity of the diode. Here it was in down direction diode polar arrow, and here it was in up direction. So how you just, if you change the direction of the diode with the same input signal, same in square wave signal is given, and how the output signal changes, polarity changes. Here minus 2V and here plus 2V. That is how much how it changes. Okay. Similarly, you can do with the diode biasing with DC power supply. If you see, when you do in same, just you apply the DC power supply. If you do apply the DC power supply, this DC power supply will appear when diode is in forward bias, so that is why it is appear here, and the same problem remains same. Just only this power supply will come, DC power supply will come when diode is in forward bias. And similarly, if you change the polarity, same power supply, so this will override with this DC power supply, so here same thing. Now similarly, if you reverse the polarity of the battery, so polarity of the battery will reverse, this minus V, and this is same. This is this and this circuit is same, and this circuit, this circuit and this circuit are giving the same. If you see, so this output, okay, and this output circuit are same, just polarity is different. And this circuit and this circuit are same, output are same, magnitude in quite looks different, but polarity is different. That's okay. So this is the clamping network. So in this lecture, I have covered the clamping circuit, and I request you all students, please go through the reference book and thoroughly go to my lecture and try to solve more and more numerical problem based on the topic which I am teaching to you. Whether it is clamping circuit, whether it is clipper circuit, whether it is half wave rectifier, whether it is a center tapped full wave rectifier or bridge circuit full wave rectifier. You, when you solve problems, then you get more and more clear concept on that particular topic. With this, I thank you all for listening me carefully. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.